contract, and it's intended for small teams who have one need to pay themselves or pay other people. There isn't any other methods. You don't even have a method to add a member. Once created, the contract has all the initial members addresses hard coded, but nothing else. Um, it's intended for small teams who wanna actually have accessibility to read the contract and use it through Discord. Oh shit, I didn't mention that. We also made a Discord bot that interacts with microdAOs instead of just like a web app or something. You can create a microdAO by mentioning people by their BNS names, which are their Discord usernames, and we resolved like their addresses and then add them as like hard coded addresses in in um, in the contract. I can just show you guys a demo.
Is there like a teardown mechanism? Like if I accidentally mention Haas and then I was like, oh shit, I didn't want to mention Haas. I meant to mention Harold.
Yeah, you can just not confirm the transaction on the web app because the Discord just like redirects you to a web app, then you confirm the transaction. The This was a design decision.
What about after it's run its course? Can I shut it down?
You cannot. You could just not deposit into it. You know, there's like a lot of steps here. You can review the contract and check that the correct addresses are there, and you can just not deposit or just like review with the people before you do anything. But it's also dependent on like being really careful before, you know, just like, hey, people, just make sure that you have the correct BNS names and, oh, this is the address. Are you sure? All that kind of thing. Because it's like, it's a one-time thing. It's a one step that you're not going to do anything at all later.
And there's a whole lot of layers of system design that we're wrapping around the tooling and things we want to add to the tooling as well that lend itself to the system design that we're thinking of. We're still collaborating, and hopefully this week sometime we get to get down and with some design implementation ideas for very important visualizations of the different flows between people, the different exchanges between people when coming together to form a team. Kaz came up with these components for what we're calling journeys, which is our form of task creation or so-called bounties, right, that you would conventionally see. But we're trying to really emphasize these incentives of long-term sustainability, of upskilling of one another, a lot of hidden capital, things that usually go invisible when it comes to exchange of values between each other, friendship and what have you. These things are usually unnamed in conventional systems. And get visualizations for that to bring these incentives to the foreground. And monetary incentives, moving them to the background, right? Not forgetting about them, as an important part of not being extractive to labor or expression here in the advocates, but it's going to be extremely important, right? For I think Harini, some of our very first meetings, talked about the importance of what we've come to call intrinsic motivations, as opposed to extrinsic motivations? How do we know basically people aren't trying to game the system, for the monetary incentives or what have you, things that you would conventionally see in bounties or task creation models or even just any DAO-like structure. And this is something that we hope to start to name that's going on in the ideation phases of the components for journeys that we're calling it, or in the workspace phases of journeys, and then allow for a big part of the user experience to be these visualizations that are wrapping around what's going on in the creation of these micro DAOs, as well. There's layers of system design wrapped around it too in terms of governance. That is in the tooling of the consensus flow Haas was talking about at first. That also comes with its own models when it comes to how Advocates is starting to define some explicit structures of representation, organize themselves into different clans that are attached to core values of the collective. And all of this we're learning from these indigenous modes research that is so near and dear to our research. A big part of the tooling is also going to be the use of the models along with the tooling and bridge work from what may be some folks' first point of contact in the task creation part of Advocates, which could potentially lead to carved pathways for grants and more accessibility to grants, getting community support and ideas or creation of grants. If that's some folks' first point of contact, right? And problems do arise potentially but likely to arise in the micro DAO creation or folks coming together in some type of teams or what have you. They can plug right into what's going on in the broader DAO of Advocates in terms of governance, where we have all these mechanisms from bottom up voices being heard in horizontal ways, all of these flows and layout that we spoke to for about a couple hours before you joined us, Dan. But we're getting into some pretty exciting weeds of both autonomy, projections for the voices of women in the long term, getting into some of the what seemed like very detailed mechanisms for functional autonomy, not just lip service and autonomy. And of course, there's a lot more to all of this, but that's a part of what we're really excited for too. Haas has built in, subtle things into the tooling that is taken from the research as well that allows it all to blend nicely together, and it's all built with all of these models in mind. So, I know I said a lot too there, Kaylee and both Dan. You guys feel free to shut me up and ask questions about some of that system design stuff too. But I just wanted to get that in there because. Haas has us hyped for all of this heads down work in the tooling, and it's been a long time coming in terms of conversations like this to get it done. Ryder, beautiful to see you as well.
I had a word for the grant thing, like micro grant, a mini grant, a micro grant. What do you think? No? Micro grants?
You're missing the point. Grants are supposed to be micro. They just turned into this ugly monster because poor execution. Sorry, I had to say this.
So I don't know.
Okay, micro grants.
Something along the line of that. Something micro.
I'll give it to you.
Micro.
I'll journeys. Journeys is a better word.
Right. Okay.
We agree to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're really excited for what we'll hopefully come up with that in terms of the visualizations again. For Kaylee and Dan that may not know what I'm talking about with that the main concept around it is pretty fundamental to what we're trying to achieve, in terms of engendering a particular type of culture with advocates in the ecosystem in general. When it comes to a paradigm shift away from scarcity and towards abundance, at least in our interactions with each other, especially. So we're not inserting artificial scarcity in the structures that we're working and living in right together. And the idea is that when you have this shift, this paradigm shift, it unlocks a whole lot of conflict resolution capacities. It removes a whole lot of self-preservation potentials that tend to make sense in an irrational, rational way in scarcity-based systems. And one of the best ways we can start to achieve this paradigm shift when coming together into these systems together is by visualizing all of the different exchanges we have that usually go invisible. As I said, a lot of the hidden capital that we have that might come from particular circumstances or backgrounds that any of us may have, and emphasizing the things that usually do go invisible. That is usually the stuff that is getting us by in spite of fairly extractive structures that we have to work and live in usually, right, that we're most familiar with. And the idea is that if we can get these type of exchanges and flows between us into visualizations, we can have we can visualize the abundance that we have amongst ourselves, right? Can get a tangible sense of what makes up our commons as advocates when it comes to shared education, upskilling, technological innovations in models, innovations in government, whatever it may be. But along with all of the hidden capital and flows that make all of that possible, right? And this could be a very critical way of bringing to the foreground these type of incentives that we talked about earlier. Well, moving to the background, the monetary, right? We have these networks of upskilling that are all super built-in, have all this built-in accessibility, built-in horizontality that is felt and tangible in the structures, in the experience. This could hopefully be a big point of transformational potential, not just for advocates, but for anybody replicating the models and tooling, in the ecosystem and beyond. But there's a lot to the actual visuals to that as well that we'd love to show y'all, and we can link folks to as well, along with any other resources that folks may need. Kaylee, I'll probably give you a fire hose of links somewhere down the line. I do that to a lot of folks, so that might be part of our meeting each other. Yeah. Thanks for the permission. Yeah.
Awesome.
So did you guys arrange a call?
Yeah,
Kaylee?
yeah. We kind of went into around 3 o'clock was our scheduled time, so we kind of blended the two.
Oh, right, great. So that was your first call. Oh, amazing. Welcome, Kaylee. Yeah, I do see you around in different servers. It's cool. I think you're in Megapon as well, and you change your name, Mega Kaylee.
Yeah, because I'm huge on the Megacons. I got one, and I was gonna try getting public. It was too difficult, but I got one, so that's good enough for me.
Cool. Welcome to the jungle. It's a bit
Awesome.
chaotic there. It's a bit chaotic there, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good place.
I got
Definitely.
5.
You got 5?
What?
Oh my god, dude! You know the mint price is like the floor price right now is anywhere from like 1,200 to 1,600 USD, right?
I know.
Are you in Apes Together too?
Nope, can't afford that.
Yeah,
wow.
I chucked everything I have in STX into Apes Together. So I have no STX now.
You guys should know Haas was supposed to give me one. Haas offered me one right when they first came out, and then reneged on that.
Of course he did, because they went up so much money.
I can give you Dan if you want. I have a lot of money.
I sold two. I sold two,
dang.
and they like
Ridiculous.
not megacongs, megapawns. I sold two,
Oh.
and I think they've given me like money to live for like 6 months or something.
Wow.
So
when did you first buy them?
Yeah.
it was a funny story. I opted in at the Megapon, just like right when they closed their whitelist giveaways and shit. And it's like, damn, I missed this shit. And the dude Mark told me like, oh, you're the dude who did like free punks, and I said, yeah, I did. You were in, dude, and that was how I got a whitelist 5 megapawns.
Wow.
It's funny.
Wow.
Gave it to you
still have
because
some?
you're the CryptoPunks dude.
I'm sorry. What? Kaylee, go first.
Oh, sorry about that. What was I saying? So how many do you still have? How many do you have now?
3 megapawns.
Wow.
Yeah. But I have 5 robots, and I don't know. So I should have gotten like 4 Megacon whitelists but I had also 1 Wasteland Ape, but I don't know why I got a 5th whitelist spot. But
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
don't question. It was meant for you.
The reveal I think is tomorrow. It's awesome. Ryder, what did you say? I'm sorry, I missed you.
I'm just wondering if I should buy one or not. You have stacks of mine, and I'm like, it's just I'm overwhelmed. Yeah. I'm so overwhelmed.
I could buy one for you and send it over, and I could just like send you over like all I think all the stacks, or probably like 80%.
Yeah, I know you can't send all of it.
80% is good. I think it's 80%. I can't remember, but it's a good figure. I think it's in the shit though, but yeah. I hope you guys get rare megacongs if you mint it. Not talking to Harold or Ryder or Fred or Dan.
Yeah. Harold, are you the same Harold that says milk in Megapont?
Nope.
Okay.
No, not him.
Okay,
Harold.
No, that's a different one.
He's wild.
Yeah,
he's wild.
He's Dutch. I don't know if that says anything, but.
That's funny. Yeah, Harold. I don't think Harold. I don't think you have like more than like 2 NFTs.
No, Dada gave me one. It was an illustration from Baya that they turned into, that they minted, and she sent me one. And I have some Boom NFTs that I made, and maybe some others that I'm not thinking of right now. But yeah, I'm not too deep in the game.
Yeah, that's. I'm glad you're not.
Yeah, we need to keep Harold pure.
Yes. Let's have a pure Harold and a toxic Harold, and for balance in nature.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear about the wild Harold somewhere in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what about? I was just gonna ask you about how did you find the body flow? Like did some of the written stuff help you? I don't know. I know one thing missing from the written thing is the writer's code of conduct, which I must admit, like I'm not as clued in on that, but I need to understand that better. But I thought that's something that we could also briefly include, code of conduct for someone new.
I think it's about to go up for like review and like decide its fate or rewrite it or whatever. And I don't know if you were here the first time it was written, but it was put out and maybe like 6 or 7 folks helped edit and write it. And yeah, it just sits on GitHub, like code of conducts tend to do. That it just sits somewhere. And
yeah, I wasn't part of the
edit.
edit.
It does have a lot of Harold's. It does have a lot of Harold's like Harold Fair writing in it.
Right.
So, and put in like a novel way from his other writings. So that was like, I think the biggest success of it for me was one, like having it done, because it's kind of good to have a code of conduct. Like he's like kind of on the books sort of, but we don't really need it in that way in this environment. There's like a lot of trust going on, a lot of good people. But yeah, I'm particularly happy with how the writing turned out for Turtle Affair, and it's also just fair game for community iteration and change, and one day it'll just be up on in the consensus flow for discussion. That's all to say I wouldn't worry about putting it in the buddy flow right now.
Cool. And how did Kaylee find? Do you think helped you understand a little bit more about what this place is or about?
Yes, it has. I do need to reread it though, because it's something I need to read more than once. But otherwise, I think the onboarding process is pretty. I guess it's pretty normal. Like my job, the onboarding process wasn't as stringent. But yeah, I think the onboarding process is pretty great. Working with Harold, he's pretty easy to reach and to get in touch with. So far so good. But if I do have any questions, I will reach back out to Harold. Or if there's any general questions that I have, I will ask in main chat or wherever.
I'm kind of interested to know whether do you think like the written accessibility is great. What about the verbal communication by being able to talk to someone verbally? Do you think you get a better sense via verbal communication?
Personally, I prefer human interaction. So yeah. I would say human for sure, but everything that's written is pretty easy to access, and it's pretty easy to understand. Mm-hmm. But I guess for me, I prefer the human interaction. But that's easy to set up with Harold, because like I've scheduled to meet with him today, and probably another time, but it's pretty easy to reach him. So I would say either or, depending on the person. I guess, yeah.
No, that's amazing. I think you're not the first one who's telling me, like, I think that human interaction, I think this is kind of valuable, especially in this like just disco world.
I think that was a big premise for advocates too. Like that's what I felt coming into this, was that just trying to get in these chat channels as much as possible, as much as that is difficult with people showing up globally. But Kaylee, I got a question for you too. Hey, this is Ryder. I'm just curious, what made it easy to schedule with Harold?
Oh, well, after Juliet, she nominated me, and then after that, I was in the chat that said like, welcome Kaylee, where I was talking to Hero, and soon after that, he linked me with my mentor, which was Harold. And not long after that, Harold DM'd me, and then we just talked. So, yeah, I mean, he DM'd me. I continued the conversation, and then we planned to meet on a certain day and time. So, I think that was pretty easy. Just having someone who wants to work with you, who's also enthusiastic to help you learn and to get where you're supposed to be. That's really helpful.
I feel like your share just shows like that the intrinsic or internal motivation, like just like being excited to invite you in and like being available by DM and like pretty quickly and stuff was like, it's just like those, at the end of the day, those human qualities, like Hero being like, yo, like Harold's your buddy, and then like showing up with Harold are the two like most pertinent parts for you. So that's just what I'm noticing.
Yeah, I'm pretty active, so I'm usually on whenever during the day, whether I'm in Crash Punks, Madstar, Megapont, wherever. I'm pretty easy to reach, so that definitely helps. Like if you're new to Discord and you joined, I could definitely see it being an issue with like getting used to the UI and everything. But I think if you're already used to like being in Discords for NFT projects or whatever other projects, it shouldn't be too bad of a disconnect there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, and really good point. And I think that that's kind of more the audience here at this point is people who are active and are already making contributions, and then like kind of bringing those contributions to light and like helping people expand from there. So yeah, appreciate your feedback a lot.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Ryder. I don't think I've seen you around, but nice to talk with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you kindly for enduring all of this new stuff. I know with it, Kaylee, like you said, there's a lot of new information, and we'll need folks like coming in to help us, paraphrase all this stuff down, right? And Hero knows that it's very quickly that you end up with some of this language along with this, and it's too late to squeeze any of the bridge work language out of anybody. But yeah, this would be huge. You've heard us say things like intrinsic motivation and stuff like this, and we have to give credit, where some of this language comes from, and a lot of our feeling of being obliged in this particular way, in a very unique way in this space. It's Primavera Di Filippi out of Harvard, Berkman and Klein research, and she works closely with the Dada working group that I referenced earlier, which is this art collective. And it's her that had the idea of making visible what is usually invisible in terms of exchanges, and she's also the language behind dishes and the warning against concentration of wealth and power in the long term that's invisible, right? So even beyond what we have now with hierarchies and extraction and global system, we have these dangers to look forward to if we don't think seriously about distributed power. And we saw a whole lot of overlap in indigenous modes that had been a big part of our self-education, and felt obliged to get in, starting back in 2016, 2018, getting further into the space. And this will be a huge part of our getting to know each other as advocates. In previous community calls, we've had kind of an inventory taking of the intrinsic motivations folks have as we come together in the advocates, and getting a sense of what then can make up our commons, what can make up these different hidden capital exchanges. And there's a Figma document that's supposed to be collaborative and functional for folks to plug into the system design that I'll be sharing with you too, maybe on another time we get a chance to come together. So I'm not hitting you over the head with too much stuff all at once, but I just wanted to kind of wrap it up with that and just clue you into some of the language a little bit more and where it comes from. But thank you kindly for enduring us this long as is. It's been beautiful to get to know you.
No problem. I mean, I listen to podcasts all day, every day on Bitcoin and everything that goes along with Bitcoin. I'm an accounting major, so like this is what I do day to day in my free time. So yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm actually really interested in this, so it's great. So thank you.
No, thank you kindly. And yeah, we've had other folks, advocates, mentioning the the advantages of just having horizontal relationships is something we really want to emphasize, right? Folks like yourself just coming in, you should feel like you have just as much voice of any of us that maybe have wrapped our heads around some of these concepts for a little bit longer. You have just as much to offer to to these sessions as we do, and we're looking forward to seeing you, going forward. So, thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, good to see you too, Fred. I see you off for work. Yeah, I know we've been here a while, y'all.
What? Wait, Fred, you can wait. I wanted to say that Matt Starr is gonna have it might have a microdAO soon. This this is an NFT project. It's not Advocates. It's a different project. Also another.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So yeah, wanted that we're in the conversation right now of integrating microdAO with them.
Yeah, we've been leveraging Agva, who's not really in Advocates yet, because I keep telling him to join, but he hasn't really officially joined. But he's in the community all the time, just like me and Kaylee, really. Like, there are a lot of folks like us, say, in the community quite actively, and Agva is definitely one of the most active one as well. So I've been asking, well, he's been quite good, actually. He's been quite taking the initiative of wanting to do different stuff, and we connected Haas and Agva happened to be a mod on Matt Star, and he said, yeah, well, we can test this thing, all these tools, gotta be tested in the wild, and why not?
Beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing that's happening that fast. Folks are integrating the tooling almost as soon as it came out. We'll be able to work simultaneously with folk in that way. Hopefully, learn from each other. Maybe some cross dialogue. Maybe, I don't know, because the models being so important to the tooling as well. We have a good chance for tangible dialogue in the tech innovation. It's beautiful. Thank you kindly, y'all, for finding those inroads so quickly. And this is what you were telling me about as well earlier, right, Haas? Or maybe it was yesterday, some of the beginnings of it. Wow.
Now, hello, Fred.
Oz, when did you cut your hair, man?
This is recently.
God damn, man. I like your hair, man.
Yeah, it's gonna come back.
Every time I see my baby running around with her hair all out, it reminds me of you. I just think of you. I'm like, oh, she's gonna grow up and be a freaking coder like Oz. Because every time I have my laptop out, she just comes up and starts freaking mashing on all the keys. So I'm like, I already know she's gonna be like Uncle Haas.
That's not the life that I want for her, but I respect your desires. But I'm happy with my new haircut.
I say look bad.
I actually got used to it.
I
know. Yeah, I know. I didn't feel insecure.
I can tell you've been doing good. I can tell you've been doing good financially because your face is filling out. It looks like you just been eating a lot.
No, I just got back to the gym. I just got back to the gym. I'm doing good financially since last year. So you haven't noticed and you haven't been coming to the meetings, so you can't see me.
So Haz, you're the creator of Stacks Punks.
No, Free Punks. Stacks Punks is shit and should not be bought.
Okay.
It's opinionated, I know, but they stole CryptoPunks and then put like a gradient that they didn't own, and then like put 100 STX for every purchase. CryptoPunks was free. So I was just like, well, fuck you. And in 2 hours, I created free punks.
Nice. Okay. But you also mentioned that MadStar is having a micro DAO. I'm actually a moderator for MadStar. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because Aqua's kind of like, he's mentioned it, but I want full details. So you've already started talking about it. So go ahead.
Yeah, we have a meeting on Thursday to demo this. But basically, instead of just like entrusting one person to hold money and distribute it like for project contributors like yourself, they can have it within the contract of the microdAO and then distribute it to these contributors after like 1 day or whatever period that they choose for dissent, the period where people have a chance to say no. And the microdAO would just include, I'm not sure how many people the microdAO would include, but these people should just like have the power to say no. So I'm not sure how they're going to think about this, but it's basically to increase trust in governance and decrease trust in and increase trust in whatever entities that is holding funds. Because I think MadStar had a launch earlier. I don't know how it went, but there's definitely money there. So
oh yeah, they sold out. They sold out that same day. I'm sorry, they sold out within the first day. It was whitelisters. The second day was public. They sold out completely, and Aqua. So we have a ton of whales holding like 1/3 of like the whole collection. So it's really cool.
Yeah. I'm glad that they showed interest. I'm not sure if they're going to proceed with this or not. But I'm glad that they showed interest, especially like with the demo. I think that Aqua, or the things that Aqua has demoed to them. MicroDAOs essentially are a tool for transparency and community funding, for example.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So since you guys have like this initial treasury, I think it might help with the treasury management. It was not primarily designed for this, but it's one of its applications.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the information.
Yeah. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay, perfect.
You got it.
Beautiful. Thanks for the update, Oz and Hero. Thank you kindly for helping us get all this stuff out here as soon as it exists. It's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah, Haas is supposed to be Aqua's buddy. Yeah.
I haven't been able to schedule with him, and he's actually. I've never seen someone like me, like him, with the insecurity. Like he has to read on some things and then have a presentation made before we get to that point. And it's like, dude, you just have to post in one channel, and that's it, and we're done. Let me talk to you and just like walk you through the process of writing a message.
I guess everybody's gonna approach it different. The overthinker's gonna overthink.
Yep.
But no, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, how dare you not schedule something yet? But no, this is nice. But the buddy system is working beautifully, I think, Hero. And any code of conduct additions, or once we go through consensus flows with the code of conduct, I think will be maybe a little bit better timing to add it. So no worries on that. It's beautiful as is. So thank you kindly, man. It'll be important. Already having an effect, obviously.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Kaylee. I think Kaylee's. I don't know. It sounded like Kaylee just feels like that's the norm, right? The onboarding, but that's like something super new that we recently only just started, and you are one of the first few people to test it, really. So that's why I was asking you questions for feedback to make it better, really.
Oh, really? I mean, it's beautiful, really. Everything's laid out perfectly. I have no complaints. I have no criticism. But if I do come across anything I can add, I will definitely share it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's helping not just the onboarding process. In my mind, anyway, it is as well as helping the onboarding process, but is what how will it last? Like say the interaction between the people, um, you know, um, it's an easier form of access to somebody. Like you don't have to feel afraid to write a message or post something in public. Yeah, I don't know. Just but yeah, the more the you are part of this product creation now. Like you can think of things to add to it or subtract from it. This thing is everybody's is decentralized and everybody's able to improve on it.
On that note, we didn't talk about the Start Here channel, but it sounds like maybe the buddy system might replace it. Just like when I first made that, it was like just interviewing Haas and being like, how are we doing things right now? And he basically had just built the vouch and join request systems, and that was like serving as documentation for it. But yeah, I just want to like track its usefulness and replace it as necessary, and support that.
I think Kaylee earlier was talking about she was actually reading them through anyways. So I think she also found it helpful, right, Kaylee?
Yeah, like reading through all the channels, it was pretty helpful because I mean everything's explained pretty. Everything's laid out in a way you can understand. But it's also great that you could have somebody to like. Oh, sorry.
I said sick. Keep going.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean everything's laid out pretty great. Like it's very easy to understand. Everything's laid out in a concise manner, and then you have your buddy to like ask more questions. Like, hey, is I did a thing. Is this the format? Is it correct? It's just getting that verification from a person I appreciate, but at 50-50, like you can't go wrong either way. Like I'm thinking of my sister, she's an introvert. She doesn't really like interacting with people. And I have a feeling that if she were left her own devices, she would just read through everything and then start participating in that way. So, I mean, either way, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking too. I'm pretty much a lurker myself, right? A couple of years before I even got involved with the Stack server, and I'll probably always be like that. But it's folks like Dan, right? If I happen to jump into a voice channel, he's introduced me to Haas, introduced us, right? And it's how we really get here. So I don't think it can be overstated how important the real time connections can be. Because as I'm not a proactive person in terms of reaching out to other folks, working alongside them, I also obviously appreciate it. We we wouldn't be here with all of this innovation in front of us if it wasn't for that particular instant. And the buddy system so far, particularly the real time stuff and the emphasis or the attempt to engender that as a part of the culture and advocates is huge, because it could really turn into a robust network of resilient relationships that are aligned, that learn things together, upskill each other. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you kindly, Hero. Like I said, it can't be overstated the impact that this could have, and in combination with all the other things so far, in terms of things being laid out the way they are.
So when I addressed one point for like the integration of like one or like the microdAO tool in one community, the major or the main thing or intention for me is to connect with these communities and ingrain and help them have these tools for governance, treasury management, whatever, that are based on the research that we're doing. This is basically what we've been thinking about in terms of small communities connecting to each other, this fractal design, fractal shape, having this what we call like a seed shape, that fractals out to other communities. It starts like with a lot of research, a lot of development, and then you come together with these communities, reach out, and just help them have that, install these tools or use these tools, so that you have this a more connected community, right? I think I haven't been in the Metastore server, and I think 100 other NFT projects. That might be one of them is Bitcoin Monkeys. I had a philosophical disagreement with the name because it included Bitcoin, but I think that they've been doing a lot of good work as a community, and also Freed Monks have their own server now. All of these projects, Deco, Moonray, it's just all of these different communities that have these intersections. City Coins also, right? Boom. All these communities that have intersecting community members that have some things in common, but not everything, and just connecting these dots, these communities together, I think is the real work, on the ground, real work. And having the tools and just listening to the people and the reaction to the system, and connecting these small communities first, not big communities, small communities first, to form this force, or this, I guess, let me say, meta structure, or for a meta governance that we're speaking about. Just makes the the weird language that we use more concrete. Meta governance means governance of governance. Fractals, shapes. You have a seed that then grows out. Fibonacci bullshit, and so on. I didn't want to miss that. I'm glad I didn't miss that.
No, it's been a beautiful thing, Michaela, getting to meet not just me, but all of us here. A lot less pressure on my side. to get some of these concepts out, or to, I guess, introduce you around. It happens all at once. So I'm glad it did happen this way. Thank you for being so open to just hopping in here like this, Kaylee.
Oh, of course. I mean, hey, it's really hard to find people in reality who want to talk about this type of stuff. So I'm happy to find a community like this.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's one of the things that can make us, feel unique, and it can be felt. More than anything can be felt. So yeah, I think we have a lot to learn together, and the use of the use of the term metagov can get even more confusing. You might see metagov in some of the documentation. It's actually one of the ways we're working alongside Primavera in addition to Dada, is through this metagov research project. And this is what Policy Kit comes out of, what we're using to assist us in a lot of these things, in addition to the bots that Haas is putting together with the smart contracts and all of this, for the micro DAO creation and whatnot. There's also the means to policies beyond the default settings of any given client, like a Discord or Discourse. So Policy Kit is allowing us to wrap in a lot of our research from these indigenous modes, right into a Discord server, right, for decision making, as opposed to the default settings. And so, this is some of the work coming out of that. Harvard, Oxford folks, Stanford folks, Boulder, Colorado folks, a lot of brilliant folks in that metagov research project. So, coming into the system is also coming into a lot of those networks as well, and getting familiar with what's going on. And, the horizontality extends to that as well, so hopefully this, along with that felt, warmth, hopefully, or real-time connection with folks, also the genuine upskilling network, right, becomes a part of the incentives as well, that are in the foreground, as opposed to just purely monetary, right? So yeah, we're excited to have folks like yourself coming in and to grow in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Kind of for enduring the long-windedness at times, I know. And there's plenty of where that came from, as folks will tell you. But hopefully, it's folks feel it's productive as well. We have these sense-making sessions that you feel free to jump in whenever you see them pop up. We have them pretty consistently every week, Mondays, Tuesdays, sometimes later in the week as well, if it fits folks' schedule. So yeah, just feel free to hop in. Yeah. All right. But yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Right.
I said this session made me want a buddy.
Right. I think Hero might have covered
What's going on?
What's going on? Frequently as of late.
Ryder needs a buddy. Did I hear that? What? Sorry, I missed it. My laptop is a bit going overheating. What did you say, Ryder? Sorry?
We can hear you. Yeah, Ryder said that they're getting FOMO and not having a buddy.
I missed it again. Yeah, my computer is overheating. But cool. I gotta go. So if I'll catch you guys later, and I'll stop the recording now. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Hero.
Thank you for the recording, man. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you kindly for the time, y'all. Ryder, Fred, Kaylee, good to see you.